think in our last session we discussed mainly on how exactly the playbook looks like and how we can configure the Ansible CFG in the host file and those things, just a theoretical part and the exactly how the playbook looks like. So those were the things exactly we went through, and now we'll continue further. And as part of this particular thing, now what we need to do. So especially I'm going to show you the practical part of it. What are the playbooks I showed in our last session? Okay, let's go there and connect to the VM first. So you already know in Ansible, generally you have one control mission and there comes the remote missions on the other side. So whatever the actions you want to perform on the remote missions, you need to prepare a script or you need to prepare a playbook on the control mission and you should execute. So that is how exactly the execution happens. I'm just giving a few links for you for the reference also. You can take a look, especially I'll give a walkthrough also, especially on these medium links which I posted few months before. Those things will be helpful for you. You can take a look. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the VM first. Alright, I think it is trying to connect. Okay, fine, cool. Okay, so in our last session we have seen these examples, some playbook examples here. Okay, let's go there and execute. And before that, I'll just give an idea how the playbook will be executed again. See, for example, let's say this particular playbook is with you Ansible-nginx.yaml. Right. When you see this particular playbook, what are the playbook you are seeing, right? Here, if you take a look, so what exactly the playbook is doing here? So this playbook consisting of, this is the name of the playbook and these are the host, meaning that this is your target. Your target is a web server VM, so that's what exactly you're targeting for. Some cases you want to target your mission itself, your local mission itself, then you should simply give your local host. You don't need to fill any kind of other things. Just if you pass the local host, your task will be executed. What are the tasks you placed under the task section, those will be executed on your local machine. So that is what exactly this playbook execution can happen. For example, I just placed that one as a local host. So meaning that you are telling to the playbook clearly, go there and execute this playbook on the local machine. So that's the thing exactly you are doing. Alright. So when you have this one, you just go there to execute a playbook. You just need to give the command as Ansible-playbook. Okay, and you just need to bring this particular playbook YAML and just submit that one. What it's going to execute that one? It is gathering the facts. Gathering the facts, nothing but it is pulling the information about the machine. If you recall one thing specially which we discussed on the Ansible conditional, if you see this one, here we placed one condition yesterday when we were discussing. See, Ansible underscore facts distribution equal to Ubuntu. Question here is, when you are executing this playbook, how do you know your target mission distribution? How do you know that? How do you know your target mission distribution, whether it is Ubuntu or CentOS or Red Hat? How do you know that? See, general default behavior of Ansible here is it will gather the facts first. It will gather the facts from your remote mission. So the gather facts nothing but the information about your target mission. That could be operating system, what exactly the version you are using, kernel version, everything it will pull. Out of all, you are just checking a condition. If Ansible facts distribution, this is the field you are checking. If that is equal to Ubuntu, then only proceed with this installation. So such kind of condition you placed. Now you understand, I believe. So gather facts is one of the default tasks will be executed along with your Ansible playbook. Alright. See, when you see everything is in green, Okay, meaning that you don't see any kind of issues. I think it went really well. And also, you should understand one more. You can see the task also, and your nginx install stop. You are stopping and you are uninstalling as well. If you go here, especially, so those are the three tasks being executed as part of this particular playbook. If I ask you, hey, you have some 100 virtual machines, you want to execute the same thing. You need to ensure the nginx is really is there or not, and you need to stop it and you need to uninstall it. Okay, you don't want the nginx to be there on the machines, 100 machines. Then what should we do? If you place only localhost, that is only your machine. But if you place your web server, you place your web server and just go to this Ansible CFG. So Ansible CFG will tell where exactly your inventory is sitting, right? And if you go to the inventory, which is this inventory, here you can see the web server. There you need to add your virtual machines. What are the virtual machines you are planning to connect with? For example, you want to connect all these virtual machines. For example, let's say you want to connect 23, 24, this and 20, 25, 20, 26, 27 or something like that. Okay, so let's say these are all the 5 web servers which are there with you. You want to ensure the nginx is not there on these machines. Okay, let's say for that example. So now the thing is, how Ansible playbook knows these are all 5 web servers, that is by using this label, this particular label. That's the label exactly you are calling from your Ansible playbook. If you take a look here, you are calling that one, you are invoking that. Host web server means this web server will be referred. First, it will go to the Ansible CFG. It will look for where is my inventory. My inventory is here. You go to the inventory file, and it will come here and it will look for the where exactly this web server is sitting. This and all will happen if you are maintaining your Ansible CFG in the inventory along with your current directory. But if you don't maintain these two, it will go to the default path which I showed you in the previous part, okay, which is /etc host Ansible. It will go there and refer it. But if you have some control on your directory itself, it will directly come here and refer it in. So that's the difference. Please understand. But how do you know whether it is really referring this one or not? To know such kind of things, you can still refer the documentation which I'm going to provide you. You can refer this one. You can go there and you just give Ansible -inventory list -y. So what it will do, it will list you what all the things are there, what all the things it's going to be considered as part of a playbook execution. See, you are in this directory. In the directory, you are executing Ansible inventory -hyphen list -y. It is clearly telling, hey, these are all the exactly the things which you are trying. For example, instead of, see, it is telling your top hierarchy here is all. As part of the children, you are saying one is DB server and another one is web server. So now the thing here is what exactly you need to understand. So when you see these kind of things, if you give all will be considered by default. If you come here to the Ansible -nginx, if you give simply all here, everything will be considered. Everything, even including DB server also. But you want to target only DB server, you just need to give this name only DB server here. But if you want to target only web server, you need to copy this one, you need to give this one. That's only the thing here. Okay, so this command will help you how exactly the which inventory is going to be considered as part of your execution. Okay, and see, here is the one exactly I showed some example output also for you. Okay, you can take a look on that, and also, and you can check whether really your target missions or your remote missions are really working fine or not. Even you can check that. How do we know whether our remote missions are really working fine or not? See, another thing I want to tell you another point here. See, for example, in real time, okay, let me open one thing. Yeah. Okay, for example, what exactly I'm trying to say now. So let's say you're dealing with the Ansible now. So as part of this one, you have a virtual machine, which is your control machine, right? I told. So this is your control machine. If you just come here to the control machine, right? So this is your control machine. Control machine. So and you just consider there are the remote machines as well. So they say this is the remote machine. This is another remote machine. Okay, this is sorry. These are all remote machines. Okay, remote machines are nothing but where exactly you want to execute your playbooks and all. Okay. Now, now my point is how your control machine knows the authentication for these machines. How it knows? If you really provision these virtual machines on your own or manually, if you could provide, if you provision something like that, it absolutely very difficult task for automation guy to use the Ansible. Okay, so always you should use some technique. You should use especially when it comes to the Ansible. So my suggestion here is, so whenever you see these kind of remote missions, here I just give some three missions. In real time, you may have some hundreds missions, also hundreds of missions. So then how we can connect to these machines efficiently? So meaning that first you should make sure a technique saying that all these VMs got provisioned automatically. So that's the thing. First you need to use a technique. Okay, that is VM provisioning by using Terraform. You can use the no need to be stick to the Terraform, but you can use the Terraform to provision these virtual machines. That's absolutely fine. When you are done with this particularly VM provisioning, then what exactly you need to do? The next important thing here is, since you provision these VMs, you know the password, username, and the password. So username and password is well known to us. Okay, and you know that actually. So whatever the thing exactly you passed it, and dedicatedly, whenever you have a plan for the Ansible, what usually you will do, you will create a separate a separate threads, separate threads for the Ansible. So this is the generally the sequence usually will follow. We will create a separate credentials for the Ansible, and we will set the username and the password for that, and we will use those credentials as part of our patches, as part of our upgrades or installations. So that is all. Okay, so those are the things exactly you should follow. In this case also, let's say, because since this particular Terraform is set to cover for few of you, so that is why I think I'm just using another technique. So the thing is, what are the remote missions generally you have? Let's assume you already know the username password, but I will show you one technique how exactly you can do this easily. You can go to the control mission first. You go to the control. I'm not using Terraform. I'm just going to the control mission. If you go to the control mission, you can use something called SSH keychain. When you submit this command, what it will do in the control mission, it will try to create a public key and the private key on your control mission, right? So that's the first step will happen, and this is your public key which is sitting on your control mission, and this is your private key which is sitting on the same control mission. All right, now our target is you need to copy this public key and you need to pass it to the remote mission. So I created a public key and the private key on my control mission. Okay, so that's exactly the thing we did. Okay, public key and the private key being created on the virtual machine. So when you see these keys are generated on the virtual machine, and what you need to do, you need to copy this public key and you need to pass that particular public key on this VM. So that's the thing exactly we need to do. So to perform that activity, what we need to do, we just come here. Then you can use some other technique called SSH copy ID. Let me check. It's there on my history. Okay, you can just grab it. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, you can use this technique. This is SSH copy ID. So you can simply use SSH copy ID. I'm just going here as part of this particular setup. Okay, I'm just using SSH copy ID. You know what it will do? It will copy a public IP, public key from the control machine, and it will pass and it will paste it on the remote machine. That's the thing exactly it will do. Then you can use control machine private key to authenticate every time. That's exactly the plan we are following. So what we need to do? So to do that, you need a username for the remote machine. My username is actually this one. For this, you need another virtual machine on the portal. Okay, this is another virtual machine. This is the virtual machine you are sitting currently. This is another one, right? You just go to the portal here and just come here. Here I'm saying just open the virtual machines. You just come here. There you are seeing the tech EVM, right? This one. You just come here. So here is the one exactly you're saying. I just started this virtual machine. Let's say in our example, this is your control machine and this is your remote machine. Control machine and the remote machine. Okay, let's say. So since it's a remote machine, you should know the password of the remote machine username and the password, right? So because we are going to give a separate authentication, public and private key authentication. Let's say this is your public IP of that particular virtual machine, and I'm just giving your and the username. This is the username by default. That's a default username, or even you can double check here. You can see some point somewhere here what exactly the username currently you are using for this one. Okay, you can see that, or you can go here. You can click on the connect button. When you click on the connect button, even you can see what exactly the username for this team. Okay, yeah, you can see something like this, right? So there you're seeing where is this one? Yeah. The another technique usually you can see here, and if you go for the reset also, it will show you the what exactly the default user being created by default here. Okay, which is Azure user. You can take a look here. All right. So now since that's a username, I'm just using the same thing. Just submit this one. Now it is asking what is the actual password which you have used to provision this machine. Okay, I have used the password. I'm just passing that password here. I just passed the password. So you know what the number of keys added is one. So what exactly it had or exactly things happen. It simply copied your public key to the remote machine. It copied the public key to the remote machine. So from now onwards, if you want to do anything from this particular virtual machine, the authentication can happen automatically because it is using our private key combination for this remote system. Okay. Now our goal here is okay. Let's go for the first one here. So what exactly the if you go to the Ansible nginx, and here is the web server. If you go to the inventory, you have a list of items, but you have only give the authentication for this particular machine. Let's go there and see okay how exactly this behaves. Okay, you just come here. I'm just using the same command, which is Ansible hyphen playbook, Ansible hyphen playbook, and just bring this particular Ansible hyphen playbook there. What is this particular ML? Okay, whatever the ML you have, just submit this one, and you can see how exactly the thing is happening. Oh, it is doing something here. Okay, see missing pseudo password. What is happening here is whenever you're executing your playbook, it is trying to be a root user. Why? You can go here Ansible. You said become mess. Become mess means you asking that user, whatever the user you are using, become a root user. So when you see such kind of cases, you need to refer your CFG. How what exactly the configuration you configured here. If you take a look here, team. So there is an inventory path that's pretty much and remote user is the correct one only. Azure user only you are using, and the become ask password. See, it is not becoming a root user when you go for sudo su. When you go for the sudo su, in my control mission, I became a root automatically. You know why? The reason is in my control mission, Azure user been added on the sudoers group. It's been added on the sudoers group saying that no password required when you type the command sudo su. But the same thing should happen on the remote mission also. Then only you will not see this message. Okay, since on the remote machine Azure user is not added on the sudo's group, you are seeing missing sudo password. Then in this case, how to handle this one? The solution is you need to go to the sudo's group and you need to add this user. Simple thing. That is the solution. But to avoid this one now, you just leave this one as a true. I'm just giving a condition as a become ask password true. Now when you go there, I'm just exiting. When you go there for the execution, now it will ask the password. See, it is clearly asking the password to become a root user. Because earlier you have not asked, at the same time it was not part of your sudoers group. So that's the problem exactly happened. Now when you come here, I'm just giving the password here. See, now it definitely will pick it up at the first mission. See, it got connected and gathered the facts also from the remote mission. Right? It happens. And it will go there and check the other missions. The other missions problem is failed to connect. SSH port 22 connection timeout. We are unable to reach because those VMs are not even there. We just gave some dummy details, right? We just gave some dummy details. So those were unable to connect to the one which we have given correctly that's able to connect. So this is the technique exactly you need to understand first. Okay, this is if you have the virtual machines, control number of virtual machines maybe 2 3 5 4. Of course you can do something like this, but if you have the virtual machines which is a bigger number, maybe some 50 60 or hundreds, this technique definitely will not help you at all. Then you need to use specially, you need to create a dedicated user for the Ansible. That's what I just mentioned. You need to use provision in the VMs by using Terraform, and the separate credentials for the Ansible, and the username and the password is already with you. So obviously you can easily handle that one. Okay, so that is the thing exactly you need to keep in your mind, team. Okay, all right. So now you go there. Now when you go there and you just go to this particular Visual Studio Code and you try to execute what are the playbook you want. Now you understand. You can easily execute all the playbooks, whatever are there with you. Okay. For example, I'm just going here. Now I'm just coming here Ansible hyphen playbook. Okay, let's say for example Ansible conditional. What you're doing here, you give all. All means you know already. All means all the host. All the host means it will pick it up not only web server, it will pick it up with DB server also. Of course, these are all the things will not work except this one. Okay. So now I'm just bringing this particular Ansible conditional. Just try to submit this one. It is asking the password. But to avoid this password section, you need what you need to use. You need to add your user in the sudoers list in the remote mission. Please understand. And it's going for that. And you can execute all your playbooks, whatever I just showed you yesterday. Everything will go as it is. Okay, you don't need to worry at all. Now I'm just going to your medium block. Okay, let's say I'll give a quick walkthrough on this medium block so that I think you can easily understand as well. See, what is this one? So sometimes, okay, for example, this is a ping test. Ping test means, okay, really our machine. So instead of submitting the playbook directly, you can use another technique. Okay, the ping is exactly the module which you can use in Ansible. For example, what exactly is doing Ansible? You don't need to execute the playbook every time. You can take a look here and Ansible. I think I might have placed the command also here. Ansible all. Okay, you can take a look. I think you just come here Ansible all. All means you are trying to ping all the virtual machines with the module called ping. Okay, then followed by and what exactly the username? Username is that's the username. So what exactly the meaning for this? So when you try to ping it, so what exactly the technique you should follow? It will go there and will directly ping that particular IP. See, ping pong. So generally you see something with the green color success, meaning that you are able to connect to the first mission successfully. Then it will show you the other things also. See, I'm unable to connect to the other missions. You don't need to execute the playbook directly. You can use even this ping command and you can understand whether the connection is really there or not. Okay, you can use that one also too. And followed by, for example, if you want to check or something, for example, you want to check especially the disk usage, especially on your remote mission. So Ansible, instead of, see, you can take a look. A refers to apt module. Okay, so for example, you just come here, just go here. So here, what exactly what they are referring some df minus h. So you're just finding how exactly the disk usage on your remote mission. So that's the thing exactly you're looking for. So you just need to give that command over there automatically. It will go there and it will just check and it will display for you on your control machine itself. So it is going there. What exactly? I think something went wrong. Just a moment. Ansible all hyphen a. It's a module. Okay. It's not a module. It's a refers to the app modules. Okay. Just give this particular a. If you want to run any of the Linux commands, you can just pass hyphen a team. Okay. And I'm just coming here and just go there and just submit the password. See, it is listing me of exactly the disk which is especially on your remote machine. You can take a look here. And for the other missions, you can see a failure because we are unable to establish the connection with that or something like that. So you can take a look. I just clearly placed everything. For example, there is another technique also. This is a ad hoc technique, ad hoc command technique. This particular thing will help you to install something on your remote machine. For example, I want to install Vim software on my remote machine. You can simply copy this particular thing and you can use it. Okay, Ansible all. Let me explain the command here. Yeah, Ansible all meaning that all the machines module apt is the module exactly you need to consider. And here is the what exactly you are telling. You are just telling, especially the name Vim is the software. It is nothing but sudo apt install Vim. Okay, I had already told. Now, whenever you are trying for any kind of these commands, just give the hyphen any Linux commands. So there, sudo apt install Vim, and username cannot be admin user. Username is Azure user, right? So you just go there. It will ask you the password. Just come here from there 1 2 3 4 5, just submit that one there. Exactly, it will go there and install the Vim on the remote machine. It will show you the results also. So this technique is called ad hoc technique, ad hoc command technique. So it is trying to install on the remote machines and restore failed remaining machines failed. That's fine, but this is called ad hoc technique. Even you can use ad hoc commands in a single line itself. No need to prepare a playbook every time. If it is a single command, directly you can submit something like this. No need every time the playbook and all. Okay, here, okay, see, this is the best example for you. If you want to install Apache 2, your playbook something should be like this. But if you want to use by using ad hoc command, your command should be like this. You can use the playbook also, or you can use this command type also. Anything also you can use. Okay, please understand that one. Forget about the provisioners. Provisioners are the one will be part of the Terraform. Okay, don't worry on that. I'm just going for another um, another one. I'm just going here on the Ansible. So I believe this was the thing exactly explained you yesterday also. So you define all the softwares under the var section. You are going to treat those things especially here until install. With items is the looping technique you are using, and it will install one by one on the target mission. Since you give all, so everything will be installed. Explained everything very clearly. What exactly for what you can take a look here also. Okay, same thing only here. Okay, same thing. Okay, what are the examples I already showed you? Executors, forget this is the Terraform script. Okay, I will cover the Terraform script in the next part. Okay, don't worry. So you just come here to this another one. I'm just showing another one. So let me take a look here. Yeah, this is the one how exactly the inventory file looks like. Inventory file is the one just before you're saying that, oh, something is the file. Even you can pass the inventory file also externally to your command. See, by using I. By using I, you can still override your inventory. By default, it is considering your your current directory inventory, right? If you want to override, you just need to pass with the I. If you pass with the I, if you give the where exactly inventory sitting, it will pick it up. It will pick that one team. Okay, that's exactly the thing. And remaining things you just ignore. And this is the import playbook technique. Import playbook means if you want to execute your playbooks in sequence or together, you can use this technique to be part of the Ansible. Okay, that's another one here, team. You can simply execute that one. You just go there. There you can see the import playbook, right? You just come to the import playbook. You just come here. Just nothing is there. You just need to come as part of the same thing. Ansible playbook. You just take this one and just copy this particular playbook here. That's it. You just submit this one. It is asking the password because the user is not part of the sudo's group. Now it is going there for the execution one by one playbook. It will proceed for. So that's the thing exactly. You can take a look. All right, team. So especially I will share this particular. I think this particular code is there on the repository already. I believe these files I might have shared already. If not, no worries. I think I'm just giving one link as for your reference. You just go there and take a look here. Okay, I'm just sharing you in your GoToMeeting itself. Just go there and refer these medium blocks so that I think you will understand how exactly you can make use how exactly you can execute the playbooks. Okay, just refer this one first. Okay, and and another one I need to share with you the code also. The code is there on the GitHub already. Just a moment. I'm just opening the GitHub here. Okay. Let me check the Ansible. I think I have this. On this Ansible is old. Let me check this one. Yeah, you can take this repository team. Okay, you can download this one. So this is the exactly example for you. Okay, you can take a look on this particular thing. I'm just giving you that one in your WhatsApp again. Sorry, in your team. Go to meeting. Okay, take a look on this one as well. Okay, just take this homework. You try to download this zip file and try to execute whatever I did. Go to the portal and provision 2 missions and try to do whatever the things I just showed you for yesterday and today. Okay, and let me know if you face any issues in your groups. Okay, yeah, that's all exactly the thing. Any questions so far?
No, Dinesh, it's clear. We'll review the sessions and let you know if anything.
Sure. I'll share the recording in the next 10 minutes. I think you can take a look. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll update you on the next session schedule. Yeah. Later.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.